I didn't intend to make this video today. It was just like a really like YouTube-ass thing to say. But I stumbled upon this thing I can do with my setup earlier, and I was just really inspired. So here's what's going on. This is not like a new technique by any means, but the way in which I'm doing it is pretty bespoke to my setup. So I've been using this little Cranborne audio like IO box. It's called the N8, and it just has essentially analog in, analog out coming over Ethernet connections, and it goes to these little breakout boxes. So you have these passive ones, which are just 2 in, 2 out, and then you also have an active one with a headphone amp, which is actually what I'm using to record right now, and is what I just generally use to monitor my whole system with. It's a really good headphone amp. You know, I pulled the pedal board out from under my desk, and I realized that because these also have an output, I can just take one of the Q outs from my interface's mixer and then send it right back out the same junction box. So actually, let me pull up UA Console. As a disclaimer, I do work for Universal Audio, so all the software and vast majority of the hardware that I have from them was provided to me. I did not pay for it. So you see my voice coming in on input 1. That's just like right next to this recorder. On input 2, I have my guitar, which sounds like this. So there is just an SSL channel strip, you know, doing some console emulation stuff. There's a thing for noise reduction, because again, I mostly play single coils, and that is just coming through normally. In UA Console, you can set up what are called Q-Sense. Console is really set up to be like an actual recording console, like a big vintage mixer. And so it has 4 Q-Sends, and right now I have them mapped to the line outputs of my X8P, which is my main interface. It's the monitor unit in the UA parlance. So I have the Q outs mirrored to line out 1 through 8. And so what that means is that I can send any incoming audio on the X8P, or really any incoming audio on any Apollo that I have in this system, because I also have an X4 over here, I can send it to the Qs. And so I have, on that little junction box right there, 3 and 4 are just coming back on that same cable, just that single blue Ethernet cable. And so I just have 3 just sending right back into the little patch bay at the back of my pedal board. And so if I go ahead and mute the DI so you can't hear it, beautiful, and then actually send it to the Q. Basic ass guitar noodling. But that's coming through the pedal board from the high Z input on the front of the interface. So I can turn this up. I can go ahead and I can turn on like a phaser right over here. Yeah, and so you'll see over here, it's not sending to Q1, so you know you're not hearing the DI, but it is sending to Q2, which is going into the pedal board. And so if I want to mute the pedal board, I can either just mute it here, and there's nothing coming through, and then there's the DI coming into this recorder, or I can just have them both, so you can hear them everywhere. I just have a little bit of processing right here. I have a 1073 emulation just to kind of spice up this like cab emulation sound, and then a compressor. Turn that off. Turn this down. Yeah. So again, this is not like a new technique by any means, but I did just find out that I can do it, and I'm kind of excited about it because I can either reamp live or use my interface as a DI box for recording two signals at once. Again, because I can just take the little power amp thing over here out and then send it to some actual cabs like that are behind me. I can just mic this up and then have the DI there and not really need to use like a separate DI box just because this whole system does it. Anyway, yeah, the Cranborne stuff is really, really cool. I got like a little starter pack for it, but the actual individual pieces are not very expensive at all. I'm definitely going to get a second one of these headphone boxes, the N22H. Yeah, it's four channels, you know, two in, two out of analog audio over a Cat5 connection, which are cheap and really easy to run and take up way, way less space than typical like multi-cores or even just like individual XLR cables. And so if I ever re-expand my like collection of synths, have more than just like a digital piano and a couple of mono synths, I can just have them all across the room, end up setting up MIDI stuff as well over Ethernet. I have an iConnectivity MIDI 4 Plus, which is on top of this rack right now underneath the X4, and that is just connected to my Wi-Fi router with an Ethernet cable. And so all of the MIDI that's going to my Octatrack and my modular is just coming through there. There's no USB cable involved, and it's fucking sick, actually. Yeah, I just wanted to make this video because literally 3 days ago, I got this rack and spent time doing the cable management to like actually get it functional, and, you know, brought my mics over here and et cetera, et cetera. Obviously, because I have the camera equipment already ready to go, I've been thinking about making videos. And if I do make videos, it is going to be on the kind of like, how did I write such and such? Why did I do it this way? How am I going to take these songs and like make them even more my own in like in the DAW, in the production landscape? Because, you know, I'm a very computer based musician. Everything goes into the DAW, everything is finished there, and I'm going to be finishing things there and talking about like any gear I have or any tools I use in that context, as opposed to just like, oh, I got a shiny new thing. Although I did almost a year ago, I got an Octatrack, which I'm still learning. I'm definitely going to be talking about that. I have a lot of thoughts on the Electron Octatrack and the kind of culture that it has spawned, especially on this platform, as well as talking about, you know, the A4 guitar stuff, modular stuff, etc. That's about it. Yeah, like I said, I did not intend to make this. I didn't think I was going to be making this. I saw Liv a video on her module, but now that my modular is actually functional again, I might actually finally make that for her. Okay, this has been wonderful. I have been in Cozy, and I will talk to you later.